So, hello and welcome to something different, I guess. Pretty much just a recap of 2024, or at least the second half of the year. A good friend of mine makes these every year, and I kinda felt inspired by that. And there is a few things that I just want to say and that have been stuck in my head for a while, so here goes. I gotta start with saying sorry, honestly, because this is only the second time I've ever done a video like this, and it's probably gonna turn into a somewhat incoherent and rambly mess. So here goes. Sorry. This time, however, I at least took some notes to keep me somewhat on track. I'm gonna talk some personal things first and then go into YouTube stuff. I don't really want my life story in here, but it does impact my YouTube work, so I think it's relevant for once. Also, I really hope this video does stay at a manageable length. Sorry if it didn't. Actually, wait, I need something to drink for this. So, personal thing number the first. I'm currently working a regular old 9 to 5 sort of job, so 40 hours a week, and apart from that there was nothing serious really for the longest time. I don't even have any real hobbies, meaning I have, or more like had, a lot of free time, and beginning July I started throwing that time into YouTube again. And yes, again, since this channel exists since 2013, I believe, and I've been doing things on and off since then. Looking back, those videos feel kinda shabby and uncreative. Nothing special is what I want to say. It was a pretty half-hearted effort, I feel like. My other two channels I always linked to were somewhat more active throughout the last few years, but nothing regular either, and nothing special. And even now, they get new videos when I'm in between two videos on this channel, so it's kinda all over the place timing-wise. And I'm also pretty certain that the only people watching these videos are the people who are in them, so there's that. See, I'm drifting off already. Anyway, that schedule changed early in November, or more like it had to change, since I started an evening school. 2 to 3 days a week, coming out to 6 to 11 hours. Don't ask, a bachelor professional something. I don't even know what the hell I'm there for, really. Off topic again. And while I'm not trying to let it influence me making these videos, it's obviously gonna in some way or another. And that's not including the learning you're supposed to do on your own time, so the next 2 years are gonna be one hell of a party for me. And coming back to me throwing all my time at this, it's usually every free hour after work, except school days now since they end at 10 PM roundabout, and also the entirety of Saturday and Sunday are thrown at YouTube. I think it's somewhere between 25 to 30 hours a week or so, so I'm really trying hard here. The only thing I won't compromise on, the cutoff is at 7:30 PM, 8 at the latest. I would otherwise have no time left for playing games and watching videos, so a few hours purely for myself. Oh, and family stuff is also in there. Whatever. So far the feedback is encouraging and it motivates me very much to keep it up as much as I can. Here's to hoping that that keeps going. To be perfectly honest here, I always was and still am an introvert, and my anxiety levels over especially the last video are quite high, since the first one did so well compared to everything else I've done so far, and I'm pretty nervous to see if that was maybe just a fluke or if the second one can do the same. I hope that after uploading that would get better, but if anything it's gotten worse. You know what? Cheers to that depressive thought. And now, YouTube and content stuff. I'm gonna start all the way from the beginning here, which means what happened in July that made me do this. As many people correctly pointed out, a big influence here was Martin Pants. I'm gonna link him below if you don't know who that is. I've been watching him for quite a few years and I love his videos. And inspiration 2 was Reggie, also linked below. He also, well, they both use a suit character persona, whatever you call that. And in July something in my head went, I want to do that too, but with the games I've played throughout the years. Wonder if that's gonna work. The result was me thinking that one evening and just beginning like a day or two after that. Didn't take a lot of self-convincing, huh? And I also clearly didn't put much thought into it. But I also wanted a dude in a suit of some sort, and I mean, frog and avocado are off the table, obviously. I think that's an avocado, pretty sure. Avocado. I think that's an avocado. Yes? No? Could be. I even bought merch and I don't even know what it is. And yes, I love plushies, shut up. And so I got my cap and glasses, the same ones I used in Was it 2020 or so when I streamed a lot, like daily for a year or so lot, and stood in front of a mirror, and the thought in that moment was, I look like a balding potato. No clue if it is even recognizable as one though. I mean, beard, more beard, glasses, hat. Probably hard to tell it's a potato. I mean, I'm no artist, am I? By the way, the first attempt was even worse. But that's what I went with, and I think it works, and it's gonna stick around. I just have to get more organized since the number of heads and suits, or well, like bodies, keeps increasing, and now I have the hand puppet versions as well. Might have made a mistake introducing that one. Whatever, that's how that began. And the games, I mean, I immediately decided to do multiple games at the same time. Well, kind of. Because I don't want to hard focus on one game for an extended period. I think that's no good. I love these games and I don't want to tire myself of them. I mean, what you get is a video of about half an hour. For me, that is multiple hours of recording and later, while editing, playing a lot more to get certain clips and such. So the possibility is definitely there. As to why 4 games, I just threw the number 4 out there and went with it. Okay then, Stronghold 2, as I said in that video, is in there because it was pretty much one of the first computer games I've ever played. Supreme Commander, pretty similar story, but that carries a lot of memories from, I think, like 8 to 10 years ago. Back then we would come together on, I think it was Thursday evenings, and play that for a few hours. Those were great times, not gonna lie. Sometimes I miss that a fair bit. Even though I often just got pulled along because I never was that good. And during one of those sessions we started talking about a game that hit Steam a while prior called From the Depths. Funnily enough, I already had the game at the time since it was, I believe, either included in a Humble bundle or it was on sale at some point on Steam and then I just bought it. And that's how that story started. And last but not least, Warframe and I also go way back. A lucky find on Steam one day if I've ever seen one. And I don't think I'm gonna stop playing any of these anytime soon. I mean, Warframe and From the Depths specifically are 2 of my 3 favorite games. The third one is Factorio if you're interested, something I very much intend to make videos on someday. Especially now with the new DLC, haven't had a chance to try that yet because that is a time commitment and a half, I'm pretty sure. But at some point, I will. But the foreseeable future is pretty much set. Even though it changed a bit rather recently, instead of rotating these 4 games through 4 video slots, I'm just gonna call them slots I guess, I'm now rotating them through 3 slots. From the Depths and Warframe have a permanent spot there since both present an insane amount of content, and the third one will be a back and forth between the other 2 games. For now, Stronghold 2 and Supreme Commander, but I've already made a list of potential other games. There is single player and multiplayer in there, so that's that. And that's gonna suffice for a fair while, I imagine. One thing I gotta admit here though, I'm not yet entirely sure where to go with the Warframe videos, but whatever. This is a big learning experience for me either way, and I'm probably gonna figure something out. I wanna focus more on the story itself with that one, and not necessarily make too much fun of it, if that makes sense. With that in mind, I also have ideas for other kinds of shorts, so that will probably be more than just compilations of incompetence at some point, but who knows when that's gonna be. I need to stop bumping into this microphone. I do think that my speech and way of editing are getting better and faster overall, so at least my output should not go down, I hope. Although that can vary a lot day by day. I mean, looking at the most recent video, which is From the Depths Part 2, right? There is something like 600 little snippets of my voice spread throughout that video. The voiceover folder holds about 750 or so individual recordings. Not all of them were being used, obviously. How many takes do you think was it to get those? A bit over 4,500. Like, a good portion of the time spent on each video is just getting my voice in order and positioning this microphone. I just bumped it again. Yeah, I need to stop gesturing. That is something that ruins a lot of takes because there's little bells on here that I should probably not have there. And my headphone cable is attached to it too, so I'm just making it more difficult for myself. And my voice, especially horrible just after getting up, by the way. Takes a good hour or so to get it right, just like now, by the way. I've been sitting here for a while attempting this. Actually, scratch that with my speech improving. It's a far cry from where it was 4 years ago, where I was streaming a lot. Whatever. What's next on here? Oh, and I also want to limit myself to 30-minute videos ideally, or 35 if I just can't keep it down. Just ignore the last 2 videos, please. That didn't work at all. Who knows where that's gonna go though. There is actually a lot more I kinda wanna talk about, but I think that's enough on that topic for now. Apart from new ideas, there is also one thing I hope I can go back into at some point. Don't know if anyone was aware, but I love model trains, or more like just train stuff in general. Editor Media, include image if possible. And so a few years back I set out to build a model train set controllable through Twitch. Ambitious, I know, and probably quite optimistic considering it's Twitch. Let's be real, they would try their utmost to break it. So not just making it, but safety features. Due to circumstances, however, that project was put on hold indefinitely and everything stowed away. But that would also be impossible right now since it's one hell of a time commitment and also rather expensive in the long run. Between setting stuff up and learning, or in this case relearning how to program these things, I mean, if I look back into this code right now, I probably couldn't make sense of it anymore because it's been a few years at this point. If I don't forget, I'm gonna throw a bit of that in here since I recorded the whole mess. From building a separate computer for that room for recording, streaming and programming, all the way until having control of at least one train. Let me tell you one thing. Trying to make a cheap controller for these trains, for the switches, for the lights, that was a mistake. But it was also a great learning experience in a way. Sorry if it's hard to follow, but even at 10x, it's still well in excess of 630 gigabytes. And I mean, it was like 240 hours of footage. So as I said, time commitment. And just to make one thing clear before anyone gets mad, I'm no electrician, no carpenter, no miniature expert, no programmer, no artist, nothing. I'm an accountant for all it's worth. Last thing I got to was a time and weather controller. And after that, well, I just really hope that I can bring that back one day. I really do. Well, whatever. That's all from me at the moment. This is probably long enough already. Thank you to everybody who listened to all this. I'm gonna probably put a little best of at the end if I feel like it. Just a single clip from each video so far. I will likely do a proper one at some point. But for now, that's gotta wait. And with that, have a great start into 2025. Bye! Since we've already had a look at the whole castle building part... But we didn't, sir! Okay, but I'm gonna keep it brief. Stockpile, granary, lumber and stone, finding my objectives on the map and pissing about with the camera angle. Yes, again, cause the default one is weird. You don't get that feeling from just looking at them at all, but perspective matters. Here's a nuke for Skek. Wow. Nah, just kidding. But it will become somewhat of a theme during this video. Here's a tree for scale. Well, vehicle done, for the time being. So what now? Conquest! Couldn't have said it better myself. Ah, I'm so proud of you. I suck at drawing. That was supposed to look happy, not haunt me at night. Why would I do a stealth kill on this? Yeah, what the hell? Who would implement something like that? And no, I didn't turn around to try it out. What the fuck? Oh. Oh, for yeah, did I mention that the jumping part of the bullet jump deals damage to nearby things? But it's literally the same thing as last time. Stockpile, granary, lumber, cheap labor housing, tax office. What a dick I am, huh? One of the first things. Shitters ×2, falconer's post. What needed, my lord? Have you ever tried submerging one of these little kickboards only to have it slip out of your hands, shoot up like a rocket and hit you in the face? No? Just me? Okay. But you know it's difficult to do is what I'm asking.